Hello guys, welcome to Intermediate English 1 with Mr. Merlos. Here we are again, but this time we're going to continue with the second part of the topic of using the second conditional. The second conditional is the combination of an if clause in subjunctive in the past plus a main clause using the modal would. We use the second conditional to talk about imaginary situations, something that is different to the reality in the present. If you remember, I told you that in the book it talks about unreal situations or unlikely situations, but I would prefer to call it imaginary situations. Why? We understand it like this. If I say, if I were wealthy, I would buy a big house for my mother. So this situation, right, is not real in the present because when I say if I were wealthy, I mean that I am not wealthy, and I will buy means I will not buy a big house. So the reality in the present is opposite to what we mentioned in the second conditional. We can move the order of the clauses and we still keep the same meaning, right, as you notice in other examples or as you notice when we use the first conditional. But normally using the if clause at the beginning is very common. In the example that we're going to check, we're going to have the condition with if at the beginning of the sentence. So imagine that we have a condition, and this condition, right, that we use, we always put it set with a result. The result is the main clause that we use. You can say, if I had money, using the simple past, right? But the translation is subjunctive mood, and using would plus, right, a verb in base form. This verb, we never use it in conjugation, right? So you have to use it in the same form all the time. So the condition is using if, and the result is using would. Let's see the examples. Imagine reality versus imaginary. If I say, I am not an actor, I won't have many fans. So this is the reality, right? This is what I can say now about the present. But I want to use my imagination and think if I were an actor, right? I am not, but if I were, so I won't have any fans, but if I were an actor, I would have many fans. So using my imagination, I create a second conditional thinking about something that is imaginary that is opposite to the reality. Or if I say I have too much work, I will sleep late. So this is real. This is what's going to happen. I have to do many things, so I won't sleep today, right? So I sleep late. So but if I imagine how the situation would be different, I say if I didn't have too much work, I wouldn't sleep late. So I think about another reality, a reality that's imaginary, if these two things, right, were different, right? So when we use, you notice maybe in this moment that when we use a condition and a result in the reality, we turn then, right, in the second conditional to a form that is opposite to the form that we use in the reality. For example, a reality that is negative, a condition that is negative turns into a positive condition in the second conditional. A negative result turns into a positive in imaginary, right, in imaginary conditional. So the same happens if the reality, in the reality the condition is positive, in the imaginary, the second conditional, it turns negative. If the result is positive, in the imaginary form it turns negative. So we have to deal with that, right? So if you see, for example, positive turns to negative, positive turns to negative, negative turns to positive, negative turns to positive. So the combinations, right, that we use in the result and reality, right, are opposite in the form, right? And we have to change the verb to the form in subjunctive mood and the auxiliary will into the auxiliary would. If it is present, if it is positive to negative, if it is negative to positive. That's how we have to deal with that. Other examples, right? They don't eat fruits, they won't be healthy. So if they ate the fruits because they don't do it, they would be healthy because they won't be healthy, right? If we waste too much time, we will miss the bus. But if we didn't waste, right? If we did something different, we didn't waste too much time, we wouldn't, right, miss the bus. So basically, for this, what you're going to do in the exercise for this week, right? You're going to try to turn sentences, right, into the form of imaginary situation, the second condition. So I will give you the reality with a condition and a result, and you are going to turn, right, that condition into a condition in second conditional, and the result into a result that is imaginary, right? And you're going to do the same with all of the sentences that I have given to you for the homework. So it's necessary, people, that you try to make all of this work basing the structure in the examples that I have given to you. Okay, thank you very much, people. I hope this helped you. If you still have questions, write to me in the general question forum, or the day of the video conference. We can solve all your questions. Thank you very much and goodbye.